Mel, in your last mock, you had Kyler Murray going 13 to the Dolphins. Now with this news yesterday, how do you see that changing?
Well, I think we expected him to be in when you put him at 13, Greeny. I think now that you see where teams are in terms of looking at him now as strictly an NFL guy, baseball's not a factor. You're talking about the combine. You're going to find out and try to figure out what way he's going to go. Now you know that already. A couple weeks before the combine. I have a mock coming out next Monday, less than a week away. I'll probably have Kyler Murray in the top 5, Greeny, but certainly in the top 7 overall in that mock draft. So I think by the time we get to late April, always we see quarterbacks getting forced up, and Kyler Murray comes into the NFL in the perfect year, the perfect era. It suits Kyler Murray 100%.
Top 5, top 7, very interesting. Now, you have had Ohio State's Dwayne Haskins ahead of him. Do you believe that might change?
Yes, it could. Dwayne Haskins is a traditional pocket passer. Kyler Murray is the point guard, the distributor that suits today's NFL to a T. And I think if you couldn't have scripted any better, he comes in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Heck, Greeny, 7 years ago, Russell Wilson, who had a great career with 2 teams, NC State and Wisconsin, was the 75th pick in the draft. 3rd-round draft choice. Now we talk about Kyler Murray, fast forward 7 years, at 5'9.5", say, in the top 5 possibly. It's amazing. It's the way the game's played, the way it's changed, and if you adjust to change, and the young guys have, some of the old guards resistant here, but the young guys are the dictating the policy and what's going to happen on draft day in the NFL, and I think by the time we get to late April, he goes very early. I think he's the most fascinating player, certainly the most fascinating quarterback prospect in the history of the NFL draft.
In the history of the draft. Mel Kiper, so well done. And this will obviously keep you busy as we work our way towards late April. Thank you. Let me bring it over to the table here, because I want to get perspective from both of you. Maria, obviously you covered him in college, but Dan Orlovsky, I want to start with you. You played the position, you study the position every single day. What needs to work out for Kyler Murray to become an outstanding NFL quarterback?
Well, first of all, number one, the team that takes him, coaching-wise, you got to understand that he is a shotgun quarterback. In 2/3 of the snaps in the NFL last year were in the shotgun. So to Mel's point, that helps the timing of this. But he's a shotgun quarterback. You got to make sure that you move the pocket for him constantly. He's not a guy that you're just going to let sit back there, go 5- and 7-step drop. So shotgun quarterback. The second point, your pieces around you. Like, what does your roster look like? Your offensive linemen got to play in space a little bit. Your receivers have to play in space a little bit. The roster construction's a big part of it. And then for a general manager, he'll be the riskiest pick in this draft. And you got to have a courageous general manager that's going to go, I want this kid, because he does not look the part. You cannot fall back on, I took the big quarterback that was 6'5" and 225 pounds. He should have worked out. And if he doesn't, you blame the coaches. This guy, when you take Kyler Murray, you are putting yourself on the line as a general manager to go, if this doesn't work out, it's on you, because he does not fit the mold. He does not look like the traditional quarterback. Those are the main things for him to go be successful, which I believe he will be.
Maria, you cover college football for us, and you've seen as much of him as probably anybody has.
Sure.
Do you believe he is going to be a terrific player on the next level?
I believe he's going to be a terrific player. And here's one reason why, Greedy, and you love this guy in the league right now. You love Baker Mayfield, right?
Yeah.
So
hard not to.
Yeah, Kyler Murray went into the exact same system at Oklahoma, threw for more yards, rushed for more yards, threw more touchdowns, won a Heisman in one season. You were clamoring for Baker Mayfield to be the Rookie of the Year, but everyone has doubts about what Kyler Murray will be when all he's done is proven the fact that he can play. Against Alabama, he had 417 yards. They've got 3 dudes on the defensive line right now that could probably be first-rounders, and he escaped those guys. You know what I mean? If you surround him and do exactly what Dan is saying, you got to do a lot. You have to make plans and build around him, but he can certainly be successful. And we've seen big guys be bust. You know what I mean?
Of course, of course. It is not that if you are big, you automatically succeed. But we've never seen. I have one philosophy that I cling to desperately, and that is no one ever gets rich betting on things to happen that have never happened before. We gave you the stat from Hembo. No one under 6 foot has ever been drafted first or in the first round of the NFL draft in the common draft era. Only one quarterback under 5'10" has ever won a game in the NFL, and that was Doug Flutie, and he was not a great NFL quarterback. So there is enormous risk. Baker Mayfield looks to me at least, much bigger than Kyler Murray.
But they literally have performed at the same level, in the same position, in the same system, and he has better output.
This is the question everyone needs to ask themselves. When it comes to early drafted quarterbacks, what is their flaw? What is the bad part about their game, and can it get better? Find me Kyler Murray's. There is not a huge flaw to his game. If we're going to say Kyler Murray's flaw is 10 pounds in an inch, People need to overlook that because the NFL is about talent. It is about special talents. Kyler Murray is one of them.